Namaste, angels. This is the daily reading for Tuesday, November 6th. I got to tell you, yesterday's reading, we manifested into our reality, like in real time. Because you guys always, call me or message me, contact me with the parts of the reading that, came very true specifically in your lives. Well, the woman that I mentioned in the reading, that I said was experiencing the hangman energy, and I told you that it was the time to go within and think about, like, what if he called, and what do you really want. The second card here was the Emperor, so that represents the sign of Aries, which her divine masculine is in Aries. I saw that there, and I had clarified the top card with the King. I think it had been the 10 of Cups, which is, getting together with people for, to be happy and stuff, surrounded by love. I clarified it with the King. The King, I think it's often about communication. I think in this deck, it may even say something about like communicate effectively or something like on the card for the King of Swords. So I saw that communication coming in, but I didn't mention it. I did mention that somebody else may speak, again, communicate with their siblings about their dad, something going on with their dad. I'm telling you, as soon as I was uploading the video is when I heard from these women. The first about her father, she said, I just hung up on my sister. She said, my father's organ shut down. I said, I'm uploading the video right now. I just talked about that. I'm so sorry, but I just talked about, like, the dad no longer suffering. We got to talk to the siblings. And she listened. She wrote me back. She said, I can't believe what you just said there, about the father. She was like, that's exactly what's happening. So that was crazy. And then right after I finished talking to her, the other one came back and said she had in fact heard from the masculine and was on her way to meet him, just like the card showed. So not that I'm surprised that the messages came through, but like I'm saying, it's like practically in real time now. So I'm wondering if that's having anything to do with the veil being thin, thinner. I think probably. Anyway, wow, yeah. The moon rather enters Scorpio on this day, November 6th at 1:02 p.m. in the afternoon. It leaves Libra and enters Scorpio. If anybody's interested in that and what that means. And I guess that's it. Let's get into what happened on this day in history. In the year 1813, Chilpancingo Congress declares Mexico independent of Spain. 1860, Abraham Lincoln, the Republican representative from Illinois, so I guess he was a member of the Congress at the time, he was elected 16th American president. 1913, Mahatma Gandhi is arrested for leading Indian miners in a march in South Africa. 1917, which is 9/9, Bolshevik Revolution begins with the bombardment of the Winter Palace in Petrograd during the Russian October Revolution. They also have in parenthesis October 24th. I'm not sure what that means. If there was another date associated with this. Maybe something began on the 24th, but it really culminated on the 6th. I don't know. Don't start me to lying. Anyway, 1978, the Shah of Iran places Iran under military rule, and General Golhan Reza Azari forms a government. Did you know the American Civil War CSS Shenandoah is the last Confederate combat unit to surrender after circumnavigating the globe? On its cruise that sank or captured 37 vessels. Wow. This happened on November 6th in 1865, which is 9/11 or 11. Famous birthdays: Suleiman the Magnificent, John Philip Sousa, James Naismith, Walter Johnson, Sally Field, and Emma Stone. Would you believe shipwrecked Spanish conquistador Alvar Núñez Cabeza de Vaca? I think his last name means cowhead. Yeah, I think his last name means cowhead. Anyway, he becomes the first known European to set foot in Texas. Oh, wow. So before he got there and did some stuff, There was only indigenous people there. Isn't that interesting? Anyway, this happened on November 6th in 1528. 1919 or 11, the Sheik actor Rudolph Valentino, 24, weds actress Jean Acker, 26. 1935, English Prince Henry, he weds Alice Montague Douglas Scott. 1983, businessman Vidal Sassoon, 55, weds dressage champion Jeanette Hartford Davis. 1993, actress Alison Ingram, 32, weds Robert Schoonover, 44. 1998, Some Like It Hot actor Tony Curtis, 73, weds horse trainer Jill Vandenberg at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada. Famous deaths, Pyotr Ilyich Tchaikovsky, that's the musician, I think. George Williams, Arnold Rothstein, pretty sure that's the gambler mobster guy. Jose P. Laurel, not sure who he is. And Jean Turney, who is a woman, but spells her name with like the male style of Jean, Gene. She was an actress famous for Laura, Razor's Edge, and The Ghost and Mrs. Muir. She was born on November 19th, oh, how nice, in the year 1920 in Brooklyn, New York, and was a Scorpio. She died on November 6th in 1991, which is 11, at the age of 70 of emphysema. Jose P. Laurel, Filipino and the third president of the Philippines. Ah, okay. He had a distinguished career as a Supreme Court justice during actually the World War II Japanese occupation of the Philippines. He cooperated with the Japanese by forming a government in 1943 and assuming the presidency. His presidency remains controversial and wasn't officially recognized by later regimes until the 1960s. It is remembered today for its efforts to deal with both food shortages and general dissent. Laurel was able to resist Japanese efforts to draft Filipinos into the Japanese war effort. During his last year in office, he survived an assassination attempt when he was shot around 4 times with a .45. After Japan's surrender in 1945 as well, Laurel was arrested and charged with 132 counts of treason. But due to amnesty, he was never tried. He was elected to the Senate instead in 1951 and retired from public office in 1957. What a time, what a life. All right, how many people get arrested on 132 counts of anything and go on to be a senator? Very interesting. He was born on March 9th. That's the anniversary of Biggie's death. In 1891 in Tananan, Batangas, Philippines, and was a Pisces. He died on November 6th in 1959 at the age of 68 of a heart attack. Arnold Rothstein. Yep. American businessman, gambler, mobster, widely reputed to have organized corruption in professional athletics, conspiring in fixing the 1919 or 11 World Series. Also took advantage of prohibition by turning it into a profitable business, and he transformed organized crime also into a business run like a corporation. He was born on January 17th in 1882 in New York City, New York, USA, and was a Capricorn. He died on November 6th in 1928 at the age of 46. He was shot to death. George Williams was English and the founder of the YMCA, the world's oldest and largest youth charity. Williams founded the Young Men's Christian Association after being appalled by the terrible conditions in London for young working men, promoting muscular Christianity. This sounds, muscular Christianity. Williams was knighted by Queen Victoria in 1894, which is 1111. He was born on October 11th in the year 1821 in Dulverton, Somerset, England, United Kingdom, and was a Libra. He died on November 6th in 1905 at the age of 84. Lastly, for the deaths, Tchaikovsky was Russian and a composer. The first Russian composer whose music made a lasting impression internationally, which he bolstered with appearances as a great conductor later in his career in Europe and in the United States. One of these appearances was at the inaugural concert of Carnegie Hall in New York City in 1891. Despite his many popular successes, his life was punctuated by personal crises and depression. He was born on May 7th in 1840, which is also 11/11. 1840 is. In Votkinsk, Russia, and he was a Taurus. He died on November 6th in 1893 at the age of 53 of cholera, although suicide had also been suggested. Going back up to the birthdays, Emma Stone is American and an actress famous for Superbad and Easy A. She was born on November 6th in 1988 and is 29 years old from Scottsdale, Arizona, USA, a dragon and a Scorpio. Sally Field is American and an actress famous for Norma Ray in 1979, Places in the Heart in 1984, and Forrest Gump in 1994. She's famous for so much more than that as well, including The Nun. She used to be in a show about a nun, the flying nun, rather. Her habit was like a wings. Anyway, she was born November 6th in 1946 and is 71 years old from Pasadena, California, USA, a dog and a Scorpio. Walter Johnson, American and an MLB pitcher, Major League Baseball, one of the most celebrated and dominating players in baseball history. He established several pitching records, some of which remain unbroken during his 21-year career with the Washington Senators. Best known for his gentle nature, and to this day, he is held up as an example of good sportsmanship, while his name has become synonymous with friendly competition. He was born on November 6th in 1887 in Humboldt, Kansas, USA, and was a Scorpio. He died on December 10th in 1946 at the age of 59 of a brain tumor. James Naismith was Canadian and the inventor of basketball. He invented it in 1891. He wrote the original basketball rule book, founded the University of Kansas basketball program, and lived to see basketball adopted as an Olympic demonstration sport in 1904 and as an official event at the 1936 Summer Olympics in Berlin, as well as the birth of both of the National Invitation Tournament in 1938 and the NCAA Men's Division Basketball Championship in 1939. He was born on November 6 in 1861 in Almonte, Ontario, Canada, and was a Scorpio. He died on November 28th in 1938 at the age of 78 of a brain hemorrhage. John Philip Sousa, American and a composer, nicknamed the March King, composer of Liberty Bell, signature tune of Monty Python's Flying Circus. He was born on November 6th in 1854, which is 9/9 in the Washington, D.C., USA, and was a Scorpio. He died on March 6th in 1932 at the age of 77. Lastly, Suleiman the Magnificent, or Suleiman I, was Turkish and an Ottoman sultan. As the only son of Sultan Selim I, Suleiman succeeded his father to the throne in 1520. He embarked on a series of military campaigns that expanded and consolidated his empire. His reign is regarded as the peak of the Ottoman influence. His first campaigns were against the Christian kingdoms of Eastern Europe, and he conquered Belgrade in 1521, Rhodes in 1522 through 23, and defeated Hungarian forces at the decisive Battle of Mohacs in 1526, establishing Ottoman superiority in the region for 150 years. Suleiman also undertook three major campaigns in Persia, defeating Iraq and occupying Baghdad. Suleiman's naval forces became a major power in the Mediterranean, establishing their influence after the Battle of Preveza in 1538, under Ottoman commander Barbarossa. In the East, Suleiman is known as the lawgiver for his efforts to reform the Ottoman law system. Although dominated by campaigns, Suleiman's rule was a rich period for art and architecture. Under his chief architect Sinan, the famous Suleymaniye and Selimiye mosques were constructed and the walls of Jerusalem rebuilt. I told you guys a story about Suleiman having the walls of Jerusalem rebuilt and the Lion's Gate because he had a dream about the lions ripping him to pieces. That's why he did it, not just out of the goodness out of his heart. Anyway, he was born on November 6th in 1494 in Trabzon, Ottoman Empire, and was a Scorpio. He died on September 5th in the year 1566, which is 666, the age of 71. He was the last. Today we begin again with yes. 29. And stay in bed. Spirit says spend money. Romantic dinner. And still yes. Just like the day before. So we're going to start with the Ace of Air. Brilliant new ideas and inspirations, seeing the truth of a situation, and maybe a challenging beginning. Open, very nice. The Ace of Earth, the inflow of abundance, a promising business venture, and important documents or contracts. And the High Priestess, listen to your intuition, have patience, and consider carefully what you want before acting. High Priestess and Ace of Air, potentially both Geminis. And opening to the Nine of Fire. Don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage and believe in yourself. Ace of Air and the Queen of Water. Tenderhearted, empathetic, patient, and loving. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition. Care for yourself and others. Queen of Water, Scorpio. Remember I said the moon into Scorpio on this day. Pisces, Cancer. I'll do one more. It's the Six of Air. Things are looking up. It's the end of a difficult situation. You may even be taking a trip. Ace of Air. And it's the Four of Water. Missing an opportunity, discontentment, or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. Overall energy today is the Three of Air. Great sadness. Take time to heal. There's a need to forgive yourself and others. There's two there. It's been happening so much lately. Crowning the masculine. The Three of Earth, the power of creativity, recognition for very high quality work. Be a team player. Of course, this can have something to do with some sort of party of three, but where it relates to the abundance that we saw, maybe like connected to that Ace of Earth or the Ace of Air even, it's abundance that's earned, not, you know, that somebody's doing you a favor or something. And speaking of the Ace of Air, it's the Queen of Air surrounding this Three of Earth. Independent, experienced, realistic and witty, objective decision-making, clearing away all that no longer serves you, and seeing the humor in a situation. The Queen of Air is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And here in the subconscious of the masculine is the Empress, major arcana card, the Empress. So far we have three threes here. The unfortunate overall energy of the Three of Air, the Three of Earth that crowns him, and now this other Three of Earth kind of that will be at his root. Lavish abundance. Give birth to your dreams. Nurture yourself and others. This represents the planet Venus, ruler of Earth sign Taurus, as well as air signs Libra and Gemini. So it's like Venus surrounded by both of her energies. And then another one over here. Crowning the feminine. 2 cards, like I said. The 2 of Earth and the 5 of Earth. Too much going on at once. There's a need to make a decision. Consider a more playful approach. But feelings of lack and loss here. Fears surrounding money. The wisdom to accept help from others. And maybe uncertain self-employment. Feminine surrounded by, however, the 10 of Water. A contented and rewarding family life. Your emotional and material needs are met and you have trustworthy relationships. And feminine subconscious, the 2 of Air, being unable or unwilling to make a decision, a stalemate, pretending there's no problem. Crowning. The Ace of Water, beautiful, falling in love, or the resurgence of a relationship, spiritual growth, and enhanced intuition. Maybe even a new home. That's possible. At the root, the 10 of Fire, too much work, accept help from others. Life's out of balance. That causes stress-related health concerns. And at the heart of the matter, the Page of Earth, scholarly, dependable, patient, and successful. Good news about financial matters. Wanting to do something more challenging and maybe a new area of study. If this 2 of Air represents a yes or no question, you may want to go with yes, because we just shuffled the dice to yes twice. All right, we began with yes and they remained on yes after I shook them up and tossed them again. It may be a decision the family has to make about some sort of loss or potential loss, family matter, business. Tied to some, probably long, difficult time. And maybe one person more so than some others carrying a burden of the situation. Maybe an air sign. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But we are all getting some fresh energy. This can represent so many different things. Contact from people you haven't spoke to. Or the return of love or a new love. Something, starting, brewing. Somebody could be having a baby in the side of the masculine with this Empress here who is holding a baby and representative of mother. And the next card is the Ace of Water. That masculine may be an air sign too. Gemini, Libra, more so than Aquarius, but Aquarius also possible. Or maybe a Taurus. Something ruled by Venus. Let's take a look at the 5 and 2 of Earth. The Page of Air. Logical, honest, impulsive, and curious. Challenging information. Delays or changes to plans and truth delivered without tact. Yeah, this is attached to some sort of feeling of loss involving like earthly matters. Yeah, feeling of loss. A earth sign may be involved. Money may be delayed. Money you're expecting, money your family wants or needs to accomplish something could be delayed. You're deciding upon, some sort of money, or like I said, family matter, important matter or something. Gifts of money, time, or effort. New career opportunities and receiving a loan or paying off debts. The struggle from the 10 of Fire. It could be somebody working too much. In some case, again, maybe particularly an air sign and more specifically a Gemini. Maybe they'll get a new job that's better suited them, not as stressful. with the 10 of fire down here and the 2 of earth up there. They're both like about juggling and trying to manage, you know, on one's own. Let's further clarify the 10 of fire though. Yeah, some sort of wish coming true, like asking to please be able to lay down this burden, you know, and that happens, whatever it is represented for you. I think for some it's definitely some sort of stress over money or something. Happy times make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. Like maybe you hadn't been able to see, you know, to next week, let alone next month before, but now you can, you know, you're being guided to make long-term plans, perhaps because of some money that's coming in either here or here, and something connected to family, or again, a new job or promotion, a new job for you, a new vocation for you, school, some new experience. And to take a look at the masculine's Empress. 8 of fire. Events moving at a fast pace. Delays are over. Many things are happening at once. So again, connected to pregnancy, for example, some may have been like overdue. Yeah, overdue, they call that, right? With the labor. And then all of a sudden, it's finally happening. Some women that are older, a queen of air, as opposed to like a knight or a page, right? Somebody younger, maybe having a baby or something. And or we're starting after maybe a new relationship together or something after a very long time. Could be business relationship too, but after a long time of, you know, sometimes maybe feeling like nothing was happening. All of a sudden there's like a lot of movement and energy behind this. And, you know, things are working out. I'll take another one. There's another upright one here. Maybe involving a relationship again, perhaps specifically between a queen of air and a king of water, just like the Scorpio king and his bride, Queen Isis. Could very well be. So what's with the 3 of air? So this is upside down. This is the next upright card that we will use to try to figure out what our 3 of air is about. I think it can mean a few things. Again, over here we're feeling lack. Over here I think there was something with a relationship. And then some, it has to do with like work, income, stuff like that. And this is, ooh, it's another 3. That doesn't much help us, does it? It's that hangman energy again, when we need to stop and be honest with ourselves. Certainly could come in handy with regard to a relationship. Even with our finances, we need to go within and figure out what we need to do, what we're willing to do. You know, work, not work, too many hours, being honest with ourselves, what we can handle, what we can't handle. I'm making myself sick doing all this stuff. You know, let's just let go and let God, as they say. Look at things from a different perspective. You're at a temporary standstill. It's important to be yourself. And, you know, as it related, because I had all this earth energy with the Gemini energy the day before when I was talking about the father also. If it has it all to do with that, I know she and I have have discussed, it's not easy no matter what, but we have discussed that that's what her father wanted, to not go any further with treatment, you know. And so when somebody does that, it's just a matter of time. The 3 of air is above a Knight of Earth. I don't know if he's an earth sign or not, but yesterday this was, I think, the King of Earth and the Knight of Earth was here, and something in the middle made me say, ooh, there's somebody suffering. Oh, the 10 of Swords, the 10 of Swords. So now it's the 3 of Swords, and here's the Knight of Earth again. So for some, this is still having to do with finances again, and your money coming slowly, or maybe having suffered some loss in that area, finances, career, or delay, having suffered some delay. You're waiting for money to come in, or you're waiting for a promotion or something, and it is delayed. So we're having to look at the situation from a more positive perspective. And where it relates to the Knight of Earth, I guess be a little bit more patient. But let me take one more for this hangman. 2 of Water, a relationship that continues to grow closer. Forgiveness and the positive resolution of a conflict. Well, this can be So many things. This can be the relationship here that I was feeling. This can be in any kind of partnership where, again, when you're waiting on money, or you're trying to plan something, or two people are working, but one is carrying the burden. So now maybe you agree to share it a little bit more, two or more people coming together. This could be, for maybe my specific client who's dealing with a family issue with her father. This can be, some final conversations and resolve, and being at peace with different things too. And so from that perspective, it's a very positive and happy thing. But we talked about how, like, the greatest gift you can give to your parents is to in this life is to honor them and their wishes and what they want, for themselves. So she's doing a tremendous thing. It requires great strength and courage. And I continue to pray for that family, and ask that you guys too do too. But this could be something like, something like that. It can apply in any one of these scenarios, really. Coming up from a business, maybe two or more people, a partnership, relationship, family, coming to grips with some things, forgiveness all around, all the different situations, thanks, attitudes of gratitude, all of that. Oh, that was here, right? That became our new overall energy to replace the 3. Isn't that much better? Further advice. For the masculine, balance or temperance, major arcana card temperance, which represents the sign of Aquarius. I'm sorry, Sagittarius. For me, Aquarius, yes, because there's a water bearer here. But for, traditionally in the tarot, Sagittarius. The need for balance and moderation, which is kind of like what I was feeling here, right? And the star can be a healing energy too, not just meaning communication or prayers and wishes being answered, but it can be a healing energy also, especially when coupled with temperance. There was too much going on. There was a need for balance. Somebody was struggling here. And now that balance and that healing energy is coming in for the masculine to, he can stop struggling or carrying a burden, basically, a load. He can lay down his burdens. And for the feminine, the 6 of water. Memories from your history or childhood. So, of course, that can be associated to a family issue. Issues regarding children. Children, pregnancy, baby, or you're the children. Again, like the siblings having to talk, gather. And soulmate relationships. Coming back together or starting up. Ace of water, brand new start, meeting somebody new. It turns out to be a karmic, as in destined, and life lessons, and maybe a soulmate and divine union and all that kind of stuff. Or somebody coming back into your life. The King of Water returned. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the daily reading. I'll be back. Namaste.